Frozen shoulder afflicts so many people, and the reality is oftentimes we're not getting to the cause of the issue to actually see the results. So people might be going for therapy, getting a ton of work done on that area, but then you end up feeling maybe good for a short period of time, but then you start living your life and that pain and that limited range of motion comes back. So there's a few things I want to share with you so that we really have an understanding as to the full body effect, because of course fascia affects every single cell in the body, every single system in the body, and the feet affect everything in the body, even your shoulder. So just as an example, this would be my fallout stance if I wasn't aware of what posture is and proper postural foundations. So as soon as I start tipping off balance this way, what my body's actually doing, it's getting drawn over into this system. This is like a flat tire. Thinking of driving a car, you've got a flat tire on that front right tire. Now your steering wheel is pulling over to that side. So that's actually happening to my upper body. So if this shoulder is frozen and this is my alignment and I go for a shoulder treatment, not much is going to change unless I understand what's causing this dynamic, because this alone creates internal rotation of the arm. If I try to lift my arm from this alignment, this is the range I have. Whereas if I bring my body into correct alignment and support my rib cage properly, now I have full range of motion with my shoulder. So that's one factor. Another thing to understand is how we position our arms and our hands, because again, it's that internal rotation that is really causing that inability for me to move my arm properly. This is anatomical position. Palms forward is how our body is structurally designed to be at rest, yet most people are walking with their palms facing the back of their body. So these are just two understandings, how our feet are aligned as well as how our arms are aligned in order to create positive changes. So when you're going for a walk, be aware of how you're walking. Turn those palms forward. You might think it looks funny, but it doesn't look any more funny than incorrect alignment. It just feels strange because it's not natural for you in this moment. So first of all, give that a try, as well as walking with your feet pointing straight ahead. And I'm going to give you 3 positions to do though, directly in the space to improve the feeling of frozen shoulder and increase your mobility. The first position that I want to share is what we call the upper side rib position. I want to explain why this is so important though. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to go right to nipple height. We're going to slide the towel or the block or whatever tool you're using over to the side, and then we're going to lie on it. However, I just want to explain that when we fall out of alignment, we have internal rotation. The shoulder blade, the scapula, ends up migrating and ends up adhering to the ribs, locking us in this negative alignment. So it's really important that first we get into this space and we create a release so that we can have some mobility and movement of the shoulder blade. So very cautiously, just getting into position. Again, we want to be at around that nipple height alignment. And then initially you can just support your head in your hand. And then from here, what I'd love for you to do is place your hand on your belly. When you inhale, the belly gets big. When you exhale, the belly gets small. That's how you know you're breathing from the right place. And while we're doing this, let's also focus on the exhale for a count of 6, inhale for 4. Now, for some people, simply being in this position may be more than enough sensation. And the rule is your breath is your guide. If I take you into any movement where you have so much pain that your breath is stressed, that's your body letting you know it's too intense. You want to stay with where your breath is nice and relaxed. So let's move into that top hand. Let's take that top leg to the floor, straighten the bottom leg, and let's lean forward. So for the ladies, you're even feeling like you're compressing that outer portion of that breast tissue a little bit. And then from here, let's walk that top hand away. So we're lengthening the arm away from the body. And then let's even walk the arm over to the left. That's going to help to open up the space, and it's going to also assist us with melting through these adhesions. So you can spend a good 3 minutes working in this space. If you want to even ramp up the intensity, you can come onto the fingertips or even lift that hand up off the floor. But again, your breath is your guide. We never want to force the body, just persuade it. So after you've spent about 3 minutes working in this space, then just nice and gently come back to that initial sideline position and then lean into that top hand to exhale up slightly. Then we're simply going to take the towel a little higher into the actual armpit itself. And let's be closer to the front of the towel here. And then let's position that top leg behind you. And again, let's just place the hand on the belly. Just let's make sure that that breath is coming from the right place. Belly gets big with the inhale and small with the exhale. And from here, while we keep that breath working, let's lean back. Now we're gonna get to that rotator cuff area, these muscles that get very tight when we're not properly aligned. Now you can support your head with the other hand. You can keep your hand this way, or you can even use a towel or a pillow if that feels more comfortable. And just hang out in this space for about 3 minutes, just gently rocking left to right. This is a pretty painful area for a lot of people. So you can definitely spend more than 3 minutes, but do attempt to stay that 3-minute time period to most benefit that melting. And then when you're ready to come out, simply lean into that top hand. And then the last thing that we want to do is we want to release the wrist from that internal rotation. So I'm simply going to lie on my back. I'm going to place the towel under my left glute. I'm working on my left hand here. And then I'm going to sandwich my wrist between the towel and the glute. And now I'm going to keep my right foot planted so I have some leverage. And then I'm just gently going to straighten that left leg. And then I'm just going to very slowly rock left to right initially. And you'll feel sensation in both the glute as well as the hand. And if you feel you want to go a little bit deeper, then you can even start lifting that leg up and searching for pain, searching for tension. And after 3 minutes of playing around with this, you can just take that foot back to the floor, lift up, remove the towel, and then just turn to your side and exhale up. So of course, I was doing the work as though my frozen shoulder was on my left side. So if it's the right side, you can do the opposite. But after you do those 3 positions, just take your arm through that range of motion and see how you feel. Another thing to become aware of is also balancing the body. We're so dominant on one side of the body that this is really causing us to twist and wind up in our patterns. So for example, if you always vacuum with that right arm, switch it up, vacuum with the left arm. If you're always reaching to open a cupboard or a fridge or a door with that one arm, switch it up. Start using the opposite side of the body so that we can pull the body back into balance, because what we do all the time matters and creates the situation that we're in this moment.